Tini wo wango, tini wo wango, tini wo wango. We told you man, Abapotan, Fonte music. Nkakwera kama damu, pero timpo nkatomera kanye. Nkasanga kama mama, wange timpo. Nkakwera kama damu, bantu inywe. Nkasanga kama mama nankariwe. Nkagonza ka beauty, so sexy baye. Kakwenda sente, kukira na mahembe. Unisama kotaka kungambo wabuna sana. Tamanya kunoko kakirasa, kagira umunyanya wakumwe karanyanga hiya. Kalakala na nyemuka manyira, big small body ya. Kanihira na nyemuka manyira, sit the girl, oh God, a small body ya. I'm love.
Oh baby, on that allergy.
Walk a gamba, you need some love.
Oh city, on that allergy.
Oh baby, you get more man.
Oh, I need some more.
Oh baby, you get more man.
Some more.
Lero karia kama damu. Nkakwera kama damu, pero timpo nkatomera kaya. Nkasanga kama timpo nkatomera karasta. Nkakwera kama damu, nkasanga kama mama nankariwe. Nkagonza ka beauty, so sexy baituka yaye. Asante kukira na mahembe. I remember that day when she came for me. Kibule bukampasa, social media veteransi, utaina waka. Kekule mbeza lavu baituka niteka zoka. Ulikaire bukaijo wange kabani kende sente zonka. Kakumbones, this sex girl akumbones. Akumbones, mambi muya. Nkakwera kama damu, pero timpo nkatomera kaya. Nkasanga kama mama, wange timpo. Nkakwera kama damu, bantu inywe. Kama mama nankariwe. Nkagonza ka beauty, so sexy baituka yaye. Kakwenda kukira na mahembe. Tini wo wange, tini wo wange, akokaya. Tini wo wango kayaye.
Nanyowe nkakaitirana nyakahabuza. Kandu padupa kangamba tikaina musaija.
Nkakwera kama damu, pero timpo nkatomera kaya. Nkasanga kama mama, wange timpo nkatomera karasta. Nkakwera kama damu, bantu inywe. Mama nankariwe. Nkagonza ka beauty, so sexy baituka yaye. Kakwenda sente, kukira na mahembe.
Agafiire representing Echo Arts, Cliff Picks UG, Santiago MC.
By Joyous on the beat.
Nkakwera kama damu, bantu inywe. Nankariwe. Nkagonza ka beauty, so sexy baituka yaye. Kakwenda sente, kukira na mahembe. Tini wo wango kaya wange, akokaya. Tini wo wango kayaye.
Nanyowe nkakaitirana nyakahabuza karuka nkahai. Kandu padupa kangamba tikaina musaija.
Nkakwera kama damu, pero timpo nkatomera kaya. Nkasanga kama mama, wange timpo nkatomera karasta. Nkakwera kamadamu bantwinywe Ingana nkaiwe Kagonza ka beauty so sexy baituka yaye Kakwenda sente.
All right, a very, very good evening. Welcome to Agafiire Wiki. Of course, my name is Elijah Kelvin Murungi, and today I have one MC guard on the analysis. So, tukwenda kubatangirayo mukazina ako akafontei. It has been a special edition because we are introducing Premiere Thursday that one MC guard will be able to talk about to let you know what is going to be happening on Premiere Thursday, that is on Elkem Music Evolution. So today with me, we're going to be looking at all these news updates that have been making rounds on social media in your local areas where you stay, in the country, internationally, and we're going to be able to digest each of the details that have been happening in the week. But just before we get started, I also want to welcome you from Elkem Unmuted, where you've been having Remy. Yes, your one girl Remy. Usually she calls herself one girl Remy. Big up Remy, thank you so much for the show. And now we're going to have Agafiire Wiki. But before, let me have MC Gad introduce himself.
All right, good evening, dear viewers of Elkem Television. I would like to thank you for following us all over the week, and I'm happy that we have finally made it. Though the evening is too chilly, but we had to strive through the rains to come and deliver to our supporters. All
right, thank you so much, one MC God. And now, ladies and gentlemen that are watching us live on Elkem TV, we are going to ask you to be able to catch all these episodes that have been happening today, more especially for the shows that have been happening, that we've had today on Elkem Television, that is on our YouTube channel. You can go and check on them for those that missed certain episodes. You can be able to watch all those full episodes, all those full shows on our YouTube channel, that is Elkem Television. And also would like to encourage you to always subscribe. Yes, always subscribe to our YouTube channel, always follow us on our Facebook, and always share. But also you can keep in the comments, you can keep your comments flowing, more especially for these updates that have been in your area. Tugarukire mu rurimi rwaitu olw'omuka. Abaina ago amahure abokuba on this particular show, we focus on Agafiire Wiki. Osoga tueleza mu comment section Agafiire Wiki mu kichweka kyawe nikwo nitusobora kuba nitugabazaho. Akaire kanu kenyini, I'm going to be able to start with what has been making rounds in different areas of Uganda. Yes, Uganda. I'm going to start with the sports fraternity. We are supposed to have the sports mezea here, but unfortunately, you know, we've been having really an issue of rain and electricity in Masindi. We're going to ask Umeme Masindi in particular mutukonyeroho ensonga ya masanyarazi etufokeire nkuku mbisi. Yes, tukubasaba hakiri mugezo muno kurora ntingu mwatukonya, because this show is supposed to be happening at 5 p.m. but now you can see we are going to have it actually at it is 6:42. Yeah, so ati empereza yaitu naitwe okuba netalibanamu abo ensonga ya masanyarazi n'ensonga ya weather. All right, oko turugireyo on Wednesday. We had Uganda Cranes return back home, of course, this time round with a victory against Tanzania in the second leg. Tukarora, the person that was able to score the goal, Akaba Rogers something. Yeah.
But I think, though we won that game, we are still on our qualification is still on a calculator.
Yeah.
Remember, our next game, we shall either go to visit Algeria, and Algeria they also have to visit us in Uganda. And as we see, Algeria, there are players who are in bigger leagues. So meaning we were supposed to win the first game against the Taifa Stars, that's the Tanzanian team, we only had them at St. Mary's Stadium. So, I'm seeing our country still needs prayers.
Yeah, that's right.
Because our group is a tough one, and one of the toughest opponents is Algeria, which has one of the guys like Riyad Mahrez. I know those guys are too lethal. So, but what I believe in, as our motto says, for God and my country, what I know we're going to make it when we go to Algeria,
Okay.
and qualify.
All right. Thank you so much. That is one MC Guard. Of course, the Uganda Cranes had this game away from home that was in Egypt. They had a lose. Of course, they lost the first leg with Tanzania,
right,
but
now
of course, in the second,
from Uganda.
we're not playing
Because
against.
our pitches are not on the FIFA standard.
Yeah, of course. And currently, we are having the stadium. That is the Nambole Stadium. It is under renovation, and we shall be able to have the stadium in completion at least by by June. Yeah, the government of Uganda and also the ministry.
That's the promise they gave.
Yeah, that is the promise they gave. But also, I want us to look at this analysis, more especially for Uganda Cranes. I mean, sorry, for the Nambole Stadium. You see, Uganda is not prioritizing sports. Yeah, Uganda is not prioritizing sport, and I don't know why. Because to me, I think the speed at which this pitch is being renovated, we really need, they really need to work faster, because if they say we're going to have it in June, and honestly, we are in the month of April. Tomorrow is April, and
Actually, I think
there is nothing really much that is done.
That pitch, the renovation began way back in 2021.
Okay.
During when another lockdown came in, when schools were locked down, also the construction works had to stop a bit.
Okay.
Because remember, they never wanted people to over-converge. Then it had to resume this year. But me, what I'm seeing, not prioritizing sports, the only thing that is killing our pitch is a football pitch is not supposed to host some functions. But you'll find a pastor has a big crusade.
They are taking it to the pitch. An artist has one.
They take it to Nambole.
Yeah,
so at least we should get a place, a bigger place.
Okay.
If artists are saying Kololo is not enough for them, and
maybe
Lugogo ain't enough for them,
over.
government can secure some big piece of land at the outskirts of Kampala, where all artists can be accommodated rather than spoiling our pitch. Because Nambole has been there, it has been holding these different FIFA games and FUFA games. Because we would have some good international friendlies. We would have World Cup qualifiers on that same pitch. How comes AFCON, our pitch is not on an AFCON standard?
Yeah. I think that is something we need to revise. But also, are we going to ask really the government of Uganda to make sure at least if they are going to have this pitch ready by June, we can be able to keep the promise and have it by June. And also moving forward, Messi continues to make history with making actually 100 international goals, and he has been honored with a statue. Yes, a statue, probably a golden statue, yes, because it is in his image, actually. Yeah, they made that golden statue because of the 100 goals. You see, Messi has continued to keep the record. I don't know Messi versus Cristiano Ronaldo. The other day they had Portugal play with, I think Messi's Argentina.
Yeah.
There is a game that happened just recently. I don't know what it was about. Maybe you can be able to throw more light.
But actually, if you were to bring in, for the international friendlies, I wasn't following them so much.
Okay.
But if you were to bring in the Messi-Ronaldo competition, if you were to see all along, Ronaldo had a different style of play with Messi.
Okay.
Messi was a striker and a playmaker, but Ronaldo was more of a goal machine. And why Messi is still achieving more things, for him is making plays for others.
Okay.
If you're like Mbappe, most of his goals have been brought up by Messi. But now Ronaldo, each team that takes him, they need more goals from him, and he has edged. So his work rate is also reducing. But also, a congratulations to the team Messi.
Yeah.
That's a great. This year and last year have been the best years for him. He's at the climax of his career. He gets a World Cup trophy. He gets World Cup Player Ball of the year. He gets a FIFA Player of the Year.
Okay.
Then he makes a 7th Ballon d'Or, and I think as we see, maybe eyeing an 8th Ballon d'Or. So Messi is just, his climax is a lucky one.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. And also for the Premier League, it is actually resuming this particular weekend, and tomorrow we're going to be having Arsenal. Yeah, Arsenal has the game tomorrow.
With which team?
With Leeds. Yeah, Leeds United, and of course Arsenal needs this game.
I think
because
officially
for the rest of the matches, it is Arsenal is supposed to be winning. Actually, for Arsenal and Man City, for them to be able to win the Premier League, they're supposed to be winning these matches. Arsenal needs this game. What do you think?
Yeah, actually, what I am seeing with Leeds, they are good at playing.
Okay.
And if you see the style of play of Leeds, similar to that of Arsenal. And in football, it is difficult to play someone who is having the same style like yours. And if I'm to see the key players of Arsenal, we thought some of them have gotten injuries during the international break, but they all came back sound and clear.
Yeah, and more especially when they have not been really playing, the FA, the Whites.
And they have been resting. Another thing, Leeds has a boy called Samuel Noto. He's a good guy, and he's a lethal winger, but though I'm seeing Arsenal has, so far currently, their wing backs are good. Meaning, this game, according to me, Arsenal has 75% of winning it.
Okay. How about the 90? Because honestly, they are really good, and and the fact that all these boys have really been resting, are we able to really scope?
I cannot give you 90 because the first leg Arsenal won 1-0 against Leeds.
Okay.
But it wasn't an easy win.
It wasn't an easy win.
And we all know Leeds on big teams. It pressurizes the big teams.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying 75%. Then I can give the 20 to a draw. Then the 5 leads to bag a win. But what I know, Arsenal needs this win.
All right. Thank you so much. We also have a game that is on Sunday. Yeah, that is Newcastle
and Manchester
versus the Red Devils, of course.
The only team with the trophy this season.
You're talking about what trophies here. Anyway, our Man U fans, yes, you have this game very tight with Newcastle. By the way, the Newcastle boys, I don't know how Manchester United is really prepared. It has been having quite a number of games back. I don't know how the boys are really doing, but we expect maybe they can be able to scoop a win against Newcastle, and maybe Newcastle at the same time scooping a win against
I'm a United fan. I won't blow our trumpet easily because the first leg we had with Newcastle in Premier League, it wasn't an easy one. It was a goalless draw. Then even the final we had with them in Carabao, Man U won, but Newcastle was a pain to Man U. So this game, with Man U not having its star CDM, Casemiro, it may be a tough one.
Okay.
Because even Eriksen is just still on recovery, so it may be a tough one. If both teams play well, and they may get themselves a draw. If one team plays better than the other, it will win, but it may be a 50-50 game. And currently, Man U is playing to get a position in the top 4. And Newcastle is one of the teams that wants to pull out Man U of the top 4. Meaning this game is both equally important to both Man U and Newcastle. So they all either need a win, but a draw would be good for both of them.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Thank you so much. Our viewers that are watching us live on LKM television, this is Agafiire Wiki. Of course, we always have this episode every Friday at exactly that is 5 p.m. And also we have good news right back in Uganda. Of course, we are seeing the Nachivubo stadium that is by the gentleman that is Kigundu Hamis. He is able to construct this kind of stadium in Uganda. Our producer will be able to give you those images. You can be able to see the stadium that is Nachivubo Stadium. But also, we need to understand, shall we be able to host our AFCON qualifiers game in Uganda in this stadium? What do you think?
The stadium, that according to what I know, it's being constructed on a FIFA standard.
Yeah.
Meaning if it's a FIFA standard, it will be a stadium which can host international games. Though, one thing why we may not host some of the games, remember some games have to be played in the night.
Yeah.
And you know our power supply in Uganda is not constant. Remember the time
honestly, I think we need to work on power supply.
Nambole, the time they had the game, it was a night game. Power went off. So I think the only game in Uganda which plays at night, they are the basketballers and the netballers. But for football, most of our games, the games that go late at 5 p.m. So the problem will be power supply.
Yeah.
It can be constructed to a FIFA standard, but if the power supply is not stable, maybe Hamis, we know him is a sound rich guy, he may provide standby generators. So let's hope all to be good for us.
Yeah.
Because if we get this pitch, we may even get some privileges in Uganda, maybe hosting some big international friendlies. So let's hope everything goes on well and the project is successful.
All right. Of course, that is that is the pitch that you're able to see on your screen. That is the Nachivubo Stadium. Of course, it is on top of Ham. Yes, Ham Towers, that is in Kampala. You can be able to see the pitch. That is how it is going to be. That is how it looks like. But also, maybe sometime we shall be able to get you the artistic impression of how it is going to be looking like after completion. Now, away from the Nachivubo Stadium, of course, when we get to the entertainment industry, I have seen, we've been seeing a lot of rounds on social media where we have seen different bloggers, that is back home, that is Bunyoro in particular. We've seen Smash that has been hitting Jackie Cat. Yes, Jackie Cat, seriously. And also some of the things that I got to understand that ever since, we also had some time, we had Ramadan when he was hosted live on Elkem television. That is on the chat spot, Music Evolution. Yes, Music Evolution. He talked about how Jackie Cat is actually not performing well ever since they split ties. But right about now, you can look at Smash. We can be able to have the screenshots, of course, for Smash hitting Jackie Cat on social media. But maybe, God, with analysis, how do you see this kind of, how does it leave our artists, more especially for the blogger side and also the artists? Does it really make a lot of sense?
For bloggers, for them, they get captions which will entice
the reader
to get energy to read the post. But then, and on the other side, Smash was true. Because even on recent, I spoke to Jackie via WhatsApp. Asked her like, she has a new audio called Amoti. So I told her when I'm making the video, the reply she gave was like, man, I need time. So meaning, she's still going through some recovery. You know, when you've been doing something, when you're being funded by someone, and you get independent, there are some costs you cannot run. But then by the way Smash brought in the caption, it was also not that good. To a good diehard of Jackie Cats, and those who don't know the truth, they may think that Jackie Cats is totally down, but she's still making new songs. And she's promising to bring more new songs, but I think she just needs time for recovery.
Something that really caught the attention on social media was how Smash Pro comes out to say that the ex, Hassan is something
like the caption where, because right now Ramadan is managing Gary Kamer, formerly Gary Kamer, now Mercy Brighton. But the way Smash had to phrase it in was like Rama now took over Hassan's ex-Kaverenge, Gary Kamer. Which actually it first caught my mind, and I want to dig more deeper into it. I think by next Friday, I'll be having more news on that phrase. Because I'm talking to Smash, although we haven't gone too deep, but by next Friday, I'll be having more details on it.
Okay, thank you so much, MC God. We shall be having those details because it is very, very important for us to get to understand these details in the entertainment industry. Again, these artists, we have seen artists that have come out to make a lot of news this particular week. I think the producer will be able to get back the screenshot, the previous screenshot that has been on the screen. That is Serenity 9, who has been able to
finally release Mpaka video.
Finally release the Mpaka video. For those that haven't watched the Mpaka video, it is on her YouTube channel. Serenity Night drops colorful video of her song. That is Mpaka video. And also Bunyoro Kingdom set to commemorate 100 years. Yes, 100 years of Omukama Kabalega. By the way, it is, I think, usually when they're commemorating this day, I think a week later or days later, Buganda Kingdom also celebrates the Kabaka. Yeah, I have seen Airtel has already put up that.
And that is their birthday. I think, no, for you're talking of the coronation of the current king, what we're talking of is like an anniversary to remember the death of Kabalega.
Yeah, of Kabalega, yes, 100 years.
But I think this is one of the best initiatives so far the tourism board in Bunyoro has done for us. I would like to thank whoever who came out with this initiative, that is great. Because Kabalega was one of the greatest kings in Bunyoro, and we were not even remembering him as such. Remember, there's a time I was in Hoima, I was listening to Radio 7. So one lady was complaining, was like, why is it in Bunyoro you had a great king like Kabalega, but there's nothing that can portray him?
Yeah.
Well, like at least she was a Munyanko. She was like, as in Imbara, we have a picture of a cow at the entrance of our city.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, at least you can try to make like a statue of Kabalega. Then I spoke to the current tourism officer. But me, I spoke to her in a joking way. I told her, like, someone said this and this caught my mind. But moments later, after coming back to Masinda, I found the statue of Kabalega was up.
Yeah. I think they are going to be able to unleash or unveil the statue of Kabalega right on that commemoration, yes. Because up to now, for those that do not know where it is exactly at Masindi Stadium. Yes, actually opposite the tourism office.
Maybe on Monday I'll pass through her office and get more details on that.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you so much, MC Gad. Okay. But also getting back to the news that is in the political affairs, we've been seeing Muhoozi, General Muhoozi, the son. Yes, the first son,
chairman.
Yes, the first son of the chairman.
No, he's called chairman.
Of NRM.
And himself, he calls himself
chairman. Yeah. He has been also making rounds on social media. More especially, he uses his Twitter. Usually, he uses his Twitter to put out a lot of information. But first, we had of course when he came out to criticize, to critique on NBS television when it went to the Ukraine. Of course, it sent its news presenter. News presenter, anchor, presenter, yes, news presenter to the Ukraine, and that is Canary Mugume. He came out to say, why does NBS, who gives NBS that moral authority to be able to send these news presenters to the Ukraine? Because for them, as far as the relationship they have with Russia, the relationship between Russia and Uganda is a very, very tight one. So why does NBS have to go to Ukraine to cover the war? The things against about the war. It is against their relationship with.
But I think NBS being under Next Media, it's a private entity.
Yeah, that's right.
And being managed by Americans. So them sending there, for them they won't base on the relationship between Uganda and Ukraine. For them they're sending there on business terms. Though, what they did as NBS, where I can support General Muhoozi from, maybe on the security level, on the life of Canary Mugume. Because it's a war zone right now. Sending him there when the country has no consent, if he's to get abducted from there, who is to answer? Who is to answer and who will go and pick him?
Maybe somehow is okay. Now we need to understand who is missing the point. Is it General Muhoozi who is actually missing this point? Maybe somehow they were accepted, or maybe on the other hand, yes, still NBS was not able to pick the concern.
Because Next Media, it's an international media house, meaning it can run news from anywhere. So them maybe seeking permission from the Communications Commission in Uganda. But where I can support General Muhoozi from, he would have brought it on a level of security terms. Because Canada being there in a war zone, when his country has not accepted, if he's to get a problem, no one will go to rescue him.
Yeah, that's
maybe
right.
there, but not saying on terms of relationship.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, our viewers that are watching us live on LKM TV, and those that have just joined us. This is Agafiire Wiki. Of course, we always have this show streaming live on LKM Television every Friday. That is at exactly 4 p.m. Now, 5 p.m. Now, away from General Muhoozi, of course, we have again the UPDF, of course, an update on Operation, they call it Shuja, Operation Shuja. We see the UPDF kill over 22 ADF rebels, and the weapons were actually captured. You see, these UPDF soldiers actually, they are really doing a very, very great job. That is in Congo, DRC Congo, and also the borders of Uganda Uganda and DRC. They are doing a very, very great job with this operation Shuja. But also something that keeps on confusing the Ugandans is how we have the intervention in Congo. You see, intervention in Congo. And at the end of the day, how is Uganda benefiting from these interventions as a country? Yes, we understand that we're supposed to have this kind of security, but again, can't we have this as an internal thing? What do we reap from Congo?
Actually, what we're reaping may not be that big, but Congo is in the East African community. Yeah. And Uganda, we provide peacekeeping forces for the East African community.
Okay.
And another thing, even Uganda is doing it protect with the citizens. Meaning, if we are to leave, we say let it be an internal thing between Congo. We have Ugandans who are at the border of Uganda and Congo. When they are at the border of Uganda and Congo, they will be in trouble themselves. Meaning, if we don't go to fight, they say prevention is better than cure. If we don't go to fight them earlier, it may not work out.
Okay.
So meaning, we have to start fighting it earlier before it reaches Uganda.
Okay.
We shouldn't wait for the ADF rebels to reach Uganda.
And then we start
fighting. But if we weaken them earlier, they also know, we cannot reach Uganda. Their army is strong. It will be better that way.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, MC Gad, on that analysis. Of course, there is a spot check that is from COSASE. COSASE, that is a committee in the Parliament of Uganda. There is this land of about 380 billion that was secured for the street vendors in Kampala, and that discussion, that's securing actually started last year in November, and government shows itself, it shows the interest in having that land, and we have seen there have been about two people, one is female and the other one is a gentleman, come out to claim that it is their land, but government is really showing interest of 10 acres that they actually are saying they are going to be buying at 380 billions. Honestly, 380 billions
just for
versus 10 acres. It doesn't really sound realistic, and that is why COSASE actually came in to make sure to see why is government, who is actually, they are looking at who is the owner of this land, who is selling actually 10 acres at 380
billion.
380 billion.
Maybe we may be seeing COSASE. I'm not judging it.
Okay.
It may come and judge the situation. Maybe the land, government may have done research there and there are important minerals on the land. And they don't want to disclose it. Because if they were to disclose, maybe the price may increase.
Okay, disclosing as government would be okay. But again, at the end of the day, we really need to understand who is valuing this land. You know, maybe the owner of the land, I mean, how do they come out to say that they are selling this land at actually 380 billions? Honestly, 10 hectares in Kampala? So that actually means each hectare is 38
million.
38 millions only? I don't know.
380 billions, roughly each acre, maybe like at 380 m.
Yeah, 380 m, yes. 380 m, honestly, an hectare in Uganda.
And that money, and plus the acreage they're selling, is not corresponding. But then before COSASE looks for the person buying the land, they should first start from the details. Why is that land being valued like that? Before they reach the person buying the person putting the price of the land. Okay. Because that land may be hiked like that when it has some important minerals on it. And maybe they are not sure whether those, remember that there are some minerals I can discover in a country, and they may pose a security threat to the country. That land
is actually at Chisenyi, in Chisenyi. In Chisenyi, where Link Bus, there is that area.
Where the bus terminal is.
Yeah, the bus terminal is, honestly, minerals around there. Maybe we shall get to understand as time goes on. Also, accidents this particular week have been very, very rampant. Actually, we had how do they call it? Traffic check, yes. They were able to come out, they were on press to really talk about how many people are actually dying. usually when they are moving on the roads, they are not really bothered. But also, it is a very, it was really a sad time last week for the journalism fraternity, who honestly they were able to. We lost. Yes, we lost. We lost someone that is. I'm forgetting the name, but of course there is that gentleman who was working with NTV Uganda, just because in a road accident that is at Entebbe Express. It was really a very, very bad moment for the journalism fraternity. But yes, of course that is life. But we want to ask all of you to always take good care of yourselves while you're using these roads. Of course, we continue to see that police probes civil servants over unlawful land allocation. Civil servants, where do they get this land that they start to allocate themselves and also allocate their families? I mean, this is government land, and this happened here in Hoima, in Lira, in Lira, and these civil servants from nowhere, they allocate themselves land. How so is
Actually,
that?
The first problem is with the land tenure system the government brought in.
Okay.
Remember, there's a land tenure system that came in. If you're in an urban area and you have redundant land, government will take over it. So, and the government takes over the land, still remains redundant.
Okay.
So if someone has access to making that land title within like 1 day to 2 days, meaning that civil servant will be able to procure himself a piece of land. So,
okay.
So, government should first work on the land tenure system of saying if land is in an urban area, it should, and it's redundant, should be taken over.
Okay.
Such a things we shall find them easily. But now, even if police comes out, and what I know, police, their work is not arrest land grabbers. We have a committee that was set that is being led by Honorable Judith Navakov. So they should call that committee to come in and they do more research on how that land was given out and how government acquired it and from who.
All right. Thank you so much, MC God. Of course, our viewers, we are going to be getting to a commercial break and we're going to be having a song from that is Coco Thundama, where that is money. But when we come back, when we return, we're going to have to look at the police before the committee, that is the defense committee, and the MPs are also actually asking the police vehicles to start paying that is a certain amount of money at the Entebbe Express, and also Ugandans the government buying a 5.6 billion printer. We're going to get to understand all that when we return back. For now, enjoy the break.
Money, akukotanda mawe. Money, yeah. Fire daddy. Money. Kadama na weni kwatyo. Hotel ya kera na musomesa kera. Wiki muntu tumanye bakwija bainga halero. Bakaste kale nububaija. Usigana no linda kya kwinura. Sente kituze bora bano kituza. Osabaga muno mukama akuleke mwako obuntu. Karibu customer kafoka kazina. Karibu customer boy nkutoza mande naiwe toza mande nyowe nkutoza mande obanzifunire nta obanta boy nkutoza mande naiwe toza mande boy you toza mande obanzifunire nta obanta no mu meeting izekika aina sente tiba muhakaniza dora no muchachi owa sente ikara mu maiso sente manyo hagaina nuwachukya sente kazano kakadi zirole wenka sente kituze bora bano kituza osabaga muno mukama akuleke mwako obuntu. Karibu customer obasanga ni bagamba. Karibu customer boy nkutoza mande naiwe toza mande nyowe nkutoza mande obanzifunire nta toza money. Boy, you a toza money. Omanzi funirenta, omanta. Hey, do representa kutoz money. Do na DJ kutoz money. And a dancer kutoz money. Kutoz money. Promoter kutoz money. Double pizza kutoz money. Tuke mozaiki ya kutoza. Kutoza money. Money. Tukutoza money. Nawe megubwa kutoza money. Tukutoza money. Tukutoza bujore kutoza.
Karibu customer, karibu customer.
Basangani bagamba.
Karibu customer, karibu customer.
Boy nkutoza money. Na iwe toza money. Nyowe nkutoza money. Omanzi funirenta, obanta. Boy nkutoza money. Na iwe toza money. Boy iwe toza money. Omanzi funirenta, obanta. You know man I suffer too long to make things straight, you know. Wanna. You gotta be yourself, you know. Oh yeah,
All right, welcome back from that commercial break with that song. That is Money by Coco Thunder Mawe, an artist, of course, from Masindi district. By the time we went for the break, we were talking about how the police is actually before the defense committee, of course, for a number of reasons. But one of them is to see that police vehicles are charged along Entebbe Express Highway. The police being part of the defense, the defense of the country, and also them being an agency that is looking at keeping law and order. At the end of the day, does it really make any sense to see that their vehicles are also charged along Express Highway?
Like, since they need salary increment,
okay,
and money paying them comes from taxpayers' money, it should be a fair one. Because remember, they're exempted from taxes, like these direct taxes we incur, apart from the indirect ones on commodities. But the direct taxes, they're exempted. Meaning, if they're using that route, let them also pay.
Okay.
Because it will look weird, a policeman will come in his or her normal vehicle, and because they are in maybe that vehicle, they will just pass. And if a civilian comes and the civilian is meant to be paid, it will not look normal.
Okay.
Unless if the vehicles they're talking of to pay are these other the vehicles with the ones they use in patrols. Those ones they should be exempted. Because they might have called a patrol vehicle to go and arrest someone, and you first delay it while the suspect runs away. But if there are these other individual vehicles, let them pay.
Yeah, let them pay, honestly. The other ones, yes, they are in police, but they have vehicles. Honestly, they have to pay that. Yeah, they actually have to pay that. Now, back in Ajumani, that is in northern Uganda. West Ajumani?
Ajumani is in West Nile.
Well, okay, back in Ajumani, the refugees are really suffering with hunger. Yes, with hunger. In just Ajumani, we have over 250,000 refugees. That is in a certain camp. Then another camp also has about 150,000 refugees. Now, these refugees, their children actually not going to school. Some of the things that they are doing currently is to make sure they are hunting for food every single time. Those are the children, instead of being in class. But also, we have seen that in the same regard, their children are not able to access education because when there is no food, of course, the parents are not in position to hunt for this food. They are sending their children to be able to get this food. Now, we're asking ourselves, is it the problem of the donors, or it is us as a country that is taking on the burden that we are not in position to fulfill?
Actually, I used to study with some children from Ajuman. Some of them are from those camps, but the way you hear them speak, sometimes the problem is with their local governments back home. Because we see United Nations vehicles passing on our roads and they're taking their supplies. But when they reach, remember, they're supposed to go through the local government guys. And those local government guys, sometimes those students would claim they saw the material sent to refugee camps. Actually, you would see even some students, they tell you they're not from the camps, but they come with bags of rice, posho flour, when they have the UN logo on them.
Yeah.
We just went there, buy it at a cheap price, then I bring that to school.
Okay.
So meaning, before we blame the donors are doing their work,
Okay.
and the central government is doing its work to supply the material needed to the various camps. But then we should go down at the local government and check. We can even tell from the incidents that happened during the COVID time when they were giving out posho flour and rice. Not everyone was getting.
Okay.
Because I can be an example. Like they went and got families that they would give according to I think there's some criteria they were following. But they were saying one person per family. But then I think at home they bought for us, I think, material. Each person got material. Even the kids, like some 10-year kid they got. Meaning those things, there's where some people are being favored.
Okay.
In those camps. Over others. So
okay.
Let's also not overlook that.
All right. Thank you so much. Now the construction in Hoima, that is the construction of Hoima International Airport. Resumes this particular week. But something we got to learn is the contractor had suspended this because the government was not in position to provide materials for this construction. We understand that this is starting. They were not in position to provide funds, yes, for the continuation of the construction. Of course, the funds that were supposed to be in position to bring these materials, more especially now materials that are supposed to be in place before the construction of the pipeline. Of course, Kabale County, it is where the pipeline is going to be starting from, because our goal as a country is to have this oil by 2025. That is about how many years away? That is about
let's say
3
1
years.
year.
Yeah, about 1 year.
No, this is 2023. Let's say 2 years.
So now this construction of Hoima International Airport resumed this particular week, because one of the reasons as to why we need it is because they are going to be using air transport for them to be able to bring in all this machinery, all these materials from outside countries to be able to construct.
You've said we need the pipeline by 2025.
Yeah.
And they're going to use that airport to transport the material. When are they finishing the construct the transport?
The airport itself. That is a question to government, of course. I do not know when. What is their timeline for finishing the construction?
Because I'm seeing 2025 is not far. That's like 2 years from now. And if the airport, the time they were showing the photos of the airport, the engineer was saying they were still working on the runways. And when I was asked why, he said the runways were not, the soil type which was there was not good. They first had to bring in more soil and compress. If they're on a runway, an airport consists of many things. There must be a control tower, places for arrival, departure, many things that are supposed to be at the airport. They're supposed to construct the hangars where they will keep what the airplanes will be kept. Even a fuel station to fuel the airplanes.
Yes.
Meaning it may be something like a 5-year project to finish the airport.
All right.
And the pipeline, they're making it a 2-year project.
Okay.
And the same means of transport they're supposed to use, where they're supposed to land, is just under construction.
Of course, when this construction returned, we have over 200 workers from around Bunyoro that have been able to take on these jobs during the construction. I think we need to have a conversation about what these people from Bunyoro actually doing in the construction of Hoima International Airport. I hope they are not just
like cars. No,
not
they
just
may be
doing
that.
the cheap labor.
Then they may be casual
cracking
laborers.
stones and
They need casual laborers and engineers. But what I know, with the few friends I've interacted with, I've never had any architecture engineer speaking of making a plan of an airport.
We need qualified engineers. Now, away from that, lastly, this particular week we saw Sewanyana and Segirinya make a formal appearance, that is before media. Yes, they were able to come out to talk about what really happened, why they were why they think they were imprisoned. Of course, some of the things that they did mention, they say they also do not know why they were imprisoned. We need to understand, maybe from government, why these people were imprisoned, because usually the allegation is they was it treason, something?
No,
The murders.
The allegation
and
was like they were funding the Chijambia cruise.
Yeah. And of course, that is a case. That is a case of treason, I guess, for Uganda.
But treason can be in various ways. I can even standing in the convoy of the first lady, that can be treason, because there was no my intention why I'm standing in front of the convoy. But then there's a time I was listening to Tamale Mirondi. He was like, the only reason why Alan Sewanyan and Segirinya are still into that fix, it's because of their pride. That there's only one thing for them to come out. Remember, they used to utter a lot of words to the ruling party to come out and say, we are sorry for all what we uttered. But he said that because of the pride and the pride of the party they are in, they can't accept that.
Okay.
But we're happy right now, at least they are coming out when they are speaking to media when they are from their homes.
Yeah.
At least we can ensure their safety.
All right. Of course, some of the things that we did see why they actually what happens after prison, or how they actually came out. You see, there were actually rounds on media and everywhere that they negotiated with government. So they brought it out clearly that they did not have any negotiations with the government of Uganda for them to be able to be released. Because even they say they were released because it is a constitutional right for them to be outside prison.
There is sometime Adam Kungu of Radio 7 and Radio 4 hosted one of the ministers, and the minister himself said, yes, there was a negotiation, but it was a closed one. No one knows what transpired in the negotiation for the release of Segirinya and Sewanyana. So for them, they might have been released and they don't know the terms that were brought on board for them to be released. For them, they are right to say there was no negotiation because they were in cells. They don't know what transpired. But at least let them try to do some little research on how they were released, because the cases they were given, they are capital cases.
Yeah, they're capital cases. And of course, capital cases that they don't others have life imprisonment.
Yeah, unless it's a presidential pardon, that's when you come out.
Yeah.
Meaning if the offenses were capital and they're out, the president may have been lenient and told the law enforcers what release them, or because they had asked for a bail, but it had taken a long time for them without being granted bail. So, but finally they were granted the bail. Okay. Meaning there was some agreement that was written upon.
All right, that was after 17 months, and that is 2 full years in prison. Honestly,
2 years on their terms.
They
have been in prison.
Yeah, but also Honorable Segirinya did mention that for him, he finished his work plan, his manifesto in only. Before he actually went to prison, his manifesto was already done for the people of Kawempe, that is south, Kawempe, whether it is north or south, we shall get to understand that. Then lastly, insecurity returns to Karamoja as cattle wrestling, of course, increases. We have an issue in Karamoja. There is insecurity of the people with guns. There is insecurity of cattle wrestlers. You see, the other time, General Muhoozi actually said when he went to Karamoja, everything was settled. I don't know this time round when the general is actually going back to see that we have this issue of cattle wrestling.
The reason why in Karamoja those insecurity issues won't end, in them they have a group which they call themselves warriors. Like for them, they are meant to protect their pride. And those warriors, I was told, they are the best cattle rustlers. And they have that belief in them that whenever they see, for them, they don't know that the lower dental formula of a cattle, it's just a pad which is there. So for them, they take those to be their animals. And sometimes when they go and raid cattle from other regions, the other regions come back to revenge. Because I've been studying with students from the Karamoja region. Sometimes they tell this story, they say, your group may go and steal cattle from other people, and the other guys may even be normal for like 2 months. Then after 2 months, they will attack you. And also another thing, they were supposed to disarm them. But some students told me the guns were left with them because of security purposes, since they were being disturbed, attacked. So and even they know how to make their own guns. So even if you disarm them, it's a waste of time. You disarm them, they know how to make guns and bullets.
Okay.
So the only thing government is to do is to enforce more security to such a places so that all Ugandans are safe.
All right. Thank you so much, MC God. Lastly, worry as 20 infants die every month. That is in Toro. That is in Toro Hospital. Death is associated with anemia. I think we need to also work on a healthy system of Uganda, because honestly, losing 20 infants every month, that is too much. Yeah. That is quite much. All right, our viewers that have been watching us live on LKM TV, this has been Agafiire. I'm Wiki, of course, with me, Elijah, Kelvin Murungi, and MC God with the analysis. Maybe we can be able to have your last take so we can end the show.
Dear viewers, I would like to thank you. Thank you for following us from the start of the week up to now. This is our last show of Agafiire Wiki for this month. So next week will be a new month. And next week, I'm unveiling a new program that's called Premier Thursday, which will be happening every first Thursday of the month on the Welcome Music Revolution. And it will be happening at the same time, same place. So I urge all artists who are there, all artists in Bunyoro, if you know you have your video and you need to premiere it is new, contact me earlier. The producer will avail my WhatsApp contacts in the comment section. Contact me earlier so that we can program earlier.
Okay.
Have a blessed week. Those having a Sabbath tomorrow, have a blessed Sabbath.
All right. Thank you so much. Of course, it is a happy Sabbath from the Adventist family. I'm SDA, so definitely we're going to have a very happy Sabbath. Of course, tomorrow you can catch us live with the online church service that is live at SDA Town Church, that is Masindi, and then on Sunday, that is at exactly 6 a.m. It is going to be Palm Sunday, yes, at St. Jude Catholic Church, that is in Masindi. We shall be there live, service live. So for those catch that live church service at St. Jude Catholic 6 a.m. And then at exactly 12 p.m. That is the session for the born agains. Of course, that is at Gospel Center Church in Masindi district. And then later we shall have Let Your Kingdom Come. That is at exactly 3 p.m. up to 3:30 p.m. And later we shall have the platform. But on the platform, of course, we are going to be doing this full analysis of these things that have been in the political arena of Uganda, to see how can we be able to dissect issues that we're going to be looking at. Is of course how the behavior of the general, the behavior of general, that is General Mohoz, of course, how he's actually doing his things, and also how the NRM is battling to take over the Kampala, to see that they gain the popularity in Kampala. But for now, my name is Elijah Kelvin Murungi. This has been Agafiire Wiki. We are going to leave you with a song that is Rambura Bunyoro, a brand new song from our artists from Bunyoro, and they're going to be playing it right there on your screen. For now, have a blessed evening.
Kugonza mama kusali kusingira Yahero komwija mu Bunyoro burungi buli mu Bunyoro Bunyoro sinungi muno okasemera mama
Oburungi batitine nanyo wetinka bugamba Noborugo munsi yando kajo waito tu Oli waito wapi Grabeno la magiki Ija nankawe ngurambuse bunyo Oburahika Kwe atuisa Bunyoro ke kasemera Amananu yesu Bunyoro yesu Buno burungi buli Bunyoro koke bwa mata Mananu yesu Bunyoro yesu
ija turambule ebyo nyumiza bayicukuru bunyoro tuine ya mafuta tuine ye bibira budongo forest
bunyoro tubazo runyoro